Well, hello there, my name is Vladimir, welcome to my home studio. Today we are checking out the Source Audio Nemesis Delay. I've owned quite a lot of these delay ambient mega units, for lack of better expression. I've had the Boss DDF500, the Strymon Timeline, the Moore Ocean Machine, probably something else as well that I'm forgetting right now. But the reason why I ended up getting the Nemesis Delay in my latest pedal board build was the size plus the functionality of the pedal. Unlike any of those three delays I just mentioned, the Nemesis Delay is the only one that allows me to control everything I want on the front panel without going into a single menu, without a single display or anything like that. And that's what I love about this unit. It's also pretty small. It doesn't take as much space on my pedal board as the Timeline or anything like that does. And obviously it sounds really, really good. I have tried this pedal out in the store several times, and every time I kind of get lost in the ambient thing, annoying the store owners and other customers as well, while noodling on all of the different delays and creating these ambient atmospheres. How do you say it? Anyway, you get the idea. If you're not familiar with the unit, the Nemesis Delay comes with 12 different delays. You can select them by rotating the knob over here. And the time, feedback, and mix control do exactly what they say, but these three controls kind of do different things depending on which delay mode you are. And that's really cool because it kind of adds deeper flexibility into this pedal. Then there's the on-off switch, tap tempo. You can select three different subdivision types. There's the quarter note, dotted eighth, and triplets. The pedal can also store up to 8 presets, and you can switch between them by holding the tap switch when the delay is off, like this. And if you plug in the external foot switch, it allows you to go through 8 presets, and you can use a single button foot switch, which basically kind of functions the same way as this does, except you don't have to hold the switch every time. And if you plug in 2 button foot switch, you can go like forward or backward on the presets. And I think you don't have to turn the pedal off at that point. And that's really cool if you use like several presets per song or something like that. The pedal comes with a crazy amount of connectivity options. You can go stereo in, stereo out. There's MIDI in, MIDI through. On the back side, I'll have it on the screen. There's also a bunch of all kinds of things. You can, I think, link this with some other Source Audio pedals, and I think you can control them by, for example, switching a preset on one pedal and it will switch it on the another pedal as well and stuff like that. So I think this pedal does almost everything you can imagine or might want from a delay pedal. You can also control the pedal via app, and in order to use that, you need to plug in this into the input 1 of the pedal, and this goes to your phone. And honestly, we live in 2018 right now. I think this pedal was out in 2016 or 2017. And not using Bluetooth and instead going for this stupid cable is kind of unacceptable for me, at least. It just feels stupid. The cable is pretty short, so if your pedal is on the ground, you'll have to bend to be able to use it with your phone. Just doesn't make any sense. Eventide made this thing happen years ago with the H9 series. It's basically a company that knows how to do stuff. Don't kind of do the final thing that would put this above many of its competitors by allowing you to control stuff via Bluetooth, because you would be able to have this on the floor wherever your pedal board is, and you can just adjust stuff on the phone. You can do that with Eventide H9, as I mentioned, and this pedal came out like 5 years since that thing was released. So if I get the screen capture software working on my phone, which is, by the way, working as the second camera right now over there, you should be able to see some of the kind of screen capture of the app. And honestly, combined with the stupid cable you have to use, I really don't like how they've handled the whole thing. There's so much potential, but I think it's been handled poorly. The app is ugly. It's really non-intuitive to use. They just throw a huge list of gazillion options. And also the thing I don't like is that when you want to browse through kind of presets, or like especially presets that other people have made, you always need to hit the stupid upload button, and the pedal doesn't really give you that many clues, even of the fact that whether the upload is successful or not. So you need to just try and see if you hear a difference. And having browsed through like 20, 30 presets from different people, there's nothing that amazing, to be honest. Like, I don't know what it is, whether it's the app or just them not being able to build a community around this pedal, but I feel there's a lot of potential wasted in both the app connectivity design and also building the kind of community thing. I don't know. I'll start rambling about this and let's get to the positives. Now that I've rambled for many minutes about how I don't like some of the features of the pedals, you ask why did I actually buy it? And the reason is because it sounds so freaking good and it does everything I really need to do. I don't need the app stuff and that to enjoy it. So let's start with the preset number 1, which is a reverse delay that you heard in the intro of the song as well. Sounds like this. Oh, by the way, I'm playing my telly going into the Roll Tone Junior. Do not stop it alive. Basic stuff if you've ever watched any of my videos before. And you can obviously control the time. You can add modulation. Because there's so many options you can do with this pedal, and these knobs do different things depending on which delay setting you're on. I'm just going to browse through all of them quickly so you can hear them a little bit. So that's the reverse delay, something called sweeper. Rhythmic. Slapback. That was really bad Johnny Cash impression or something like that. Moving on to the digital side of things. This is one of the delays I really love. The digital delay with a lot of modulation happening, creating this kind of 80s style atmosphere. I'm a huge fan of this delay. Diffuse. That's pretty fun. Analog. Again, this is a really cool delay setting. I like how the trails get dark and pretty much what you want from an analog delay. There's also a bit of modulation happening. Moving on to the tape delay. As you can hear, it's pretty easy to fine-tune how much of craziness or modulation or tape degradation you want to have in your sound by just using these knobs. Let's move on to the noise tape. Then to a degrade setting. So as the name suggests, it degrades the trails and kind of almost gives you a distortion delay thing. That's really fun. Shifter. So this is a fun setting because with the intensity knob over here, you can get an octave below, and I think if you go all the way, yeah. So if you want, you could actually fine-tune this to have harmony kind of trails going on after your initial lead line. That's fun. Or you can think if I take down the time. It almost serves as an octave pedal as well. There's a little bit of delay, but not that much. The other way around. So yeah, that's fun as well. Moving on to the next setting, which is called Helix, which is basically their version of the... Well, try to guess. Yeah, it's the shimmer thing. It's a bit different than on the other pedals I've tried. I might use it in kind of really small amounts on the background. Otherwise, it's a more like a church organ thing almost to me. If my math is correct, we just went through all of the 12 different delay engines, delay modes, however you want to call them. And as you can see, the unit is super powerful just from the front panel. You don't really need anything else unless you want to. And that's what I love about the pedal. 4 presets is more than enough. I think I have a switch over there from some other pedal that I might be able to use as a preset switch as well if I find it troublesome at any point to browse through the presets this way. It's unlikely, but who knows, maybe I'll get into all different delays with this pedal, because it's just super inspiring, and I kind of had to almost control myself to get to the next delay mode every time, because all of them sound good. Not sure if I would use all of them in a song context or anything like that, but just like during the intro song, I use a bunch of different things and like allowed them to inspire me to write something like the intro thing. The kind of came from the reverse delay because it just sounded good. I've always been kind of intrigued about reverse delay, and it sounds really good and it's really usable on this pedal. So yeah, that's how I came up with that song. To wrap up, it's a really powerful unit, and unless you want to, you'll be more than fine with just operating the front panel of the pedal and maybe using a preset switch, and you're good to go. I think 8 presets is probably enough for most of people. If you're used to something like Boss DD500, which allows you to control like everything from the EQ to, I don't even know, there's so many menus in that pedal, maybe this isn't for you. On the other hand, if you want a machine that just inspires you by just going through different delay engines, then I think this is a pedal to get. Honestly, having on the Strymon Timeline and this, I don't think sound quality wise you lose anything with the Nemesis Delay. It has few things that the Timeline hasn't, the Timeline has few things that this doesn't, so I think it boils down to the personal preference. Plus, the Nemesis Delay is much more affordable. I think the different price difference is like 150 euros, maybe even 200, because I think this is under 300 euros. Check out the link below to get the most current pricing on this unit. If it's not clear yet, I'm really happy with the pedal. It looks good, it's well made, sounds good, and the most important thing, it inspires me to write stuff I wouldn't have written otherwise. And I think that's what kind of gear you should be getting. That's a personal preference of mine, or my opinion on this stuff. But I try to get gear nowadays that inspires me to go to a certain direction music-wise, and this has so much packed into it. I feel I've only scratched the surface of what I'll be making with this pedal and everything else you can see on the board. If you want to get your Source Audio Nemesis Delay, please follow the link below in the description. If you like this video, please consider giving it a thumbs up and leave a comment down below. And if you haven't subscribed yet, there's a subscribe button for you. Click the notification bell as well so you won't miss any of my videos when they come out. There's some other stuff I've done. Thanks for watching. I shall see you next time.